بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه أما بعد. يروي الإمام بخاري عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الذي يقرأ القرآن الذي يقرأ القرآن وهو ماهر به مع السفرة الكرام البررة والذي يقرأ القرآن ويتتعتع فيه وهو عليه شاق له أجران. This hadith is narrated by Imam al-Bukhari, and it's in the collection of Imam Bukhari, and it's narrated by our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, and it describes a situation of a person who is reciting the Quran. Two people, okay? And the Prophet is giving us the example of two people, two categories of people really, and they're anonymous, so anybody can qualify to be one or the other. He says the person who is the expert, or the person who is an expert in Quran, that person is with the angels. Not literally, you're still on the earth, alhamdulillah, but your station is like that of the angels. As-safara al-kiram al-barara, right? The noble angels. That's their rank. You have literally become Superman. Alhamdulillah. Al-mahir though is actually the word the Prophet used, the one who is an expert. So that's case number one. Case number two is وَالَّذِي يَقْرَأُ الْقُرْآنِ وَيَتَتَعْتَعُ فِيهِ. It sounds like a Ammiya word, but it's actually Fusha. Okay? The person who recites the Quran and they are finding it difficult. Their tongue, the words don't roll off their tongue. And it is hard for them. وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٌ لَهُ أَجْران. It's hard for them to do so, to recite the Quran. Then that person has two rewards. Not double of the previous person, but they have two rewards. One for trying and the perseverance and persistence. And the other is for the actual action of worship. And that's the second persona the Prophet ﷺ describes. And I wanted to share this hadith with you and make a few comments. The primary reason for sharing this is because every week that I've been honored to be here, I share something about fada'il, actions that are virtuous, that we should do consistently, that builds very beautiful spiritual habits. And this is at the top of the list. Reciting the Quran is at the top of that list of spiritual actions that allow us to build this relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and really excel in our deen. But the Quran is hard to recite for someone who is not well trained in it. It's a labor of love. If you're learning tajweed, it's not easy. Like your jaws will hurt. Okay? But this is what the Prophet ﷺ is trying to tell us. The one who is hard, this thing is hard for them. They يَتَتَعْتَعُ فِيهِ. They get stuck in it. They say تَعْتَعَ الْإِبِلِ. They would say in Old Arabic that the camel's feet are sinking in the sand. Right? That's the word they would use. And that's literally the feeling you would feel if you're reciting Quran and you're not very good at it. Like you're just stuck in mud. Right? It's not going anywhere. And it's hard, it's exhausting after a certain point. The Prophet is saying, in that situation, the person who's doing that, but they continue. They don't stop because it's hard. They continue. They have two rewards, two degrees of reward. The ajr of trying, the ajr of reading. Okay? To encourage and incentivize us to continue on this path. And then this path of trying, inshallah, will eventually lead a person to become an expert in the Quran. The expert in the Quran, as described by the ulama, is the one who recites, yujidu tilawatahu, they're able to recite it correctly, but also they're acting upon it. Right? Those two things have to go hand in hand, otherwise the recitation is fruitless. Okay? That person now has really elevated themselves to as great of a rank as can be imagined. And this hadith is particularly important as Ramadan is coming up. We are going to be approaching the month of Quran. It's going to be hard to hit the ground running if you are not in the habit of learning Quran and reading Quran. And it is the month of Quran. We cannot miss out on the month of we cannot miss out on the Quran in the month of the Quran. So it is time now for us to turn our attentions personally, disconnect from social media, disconnect from things that are distractions, and turn ourselves to the Quran Get ready for Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. As hard as it might be assured Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has your reward set in stone. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us all from the experts in the Quran. يروي الإمام بخاري عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام الذي يقرأ القرآن وهو ماهر به مع السفرة الكرام البررة والذي يقرأ القرآن ويتتعتع فيه وهو عليه شاق فله أجران. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. جزاكم الله خير. صلى الله عليه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.